is it doesn't necessarily ruin the entire team comp that Invictus Gaming love to put in place. It just limits their possibilities. So not having that Shen ultimate available to save people comboed with the Lulu, they may hesitate to even have the Lulu mid, may go for more of an aggressive champion like that Orianna that can still fulfill the role of shielding, but still put down a lot of late game damage.
Ooh, Hecarim just being hovered, but with Echo getting through, it's the first pick from Invictus Gaming. Kandi's Gragas was taken, and Zatai's Rise pulled from the board as well. And now Master3 look to respond.
I like that response though, and that was instant as well. Wow, they pick up the Lee Sin for Kandi. They've got the support here for Rua, that Janna. Not the top lane champion like Aurelie that we're used to seeing, but it is still going to be very good. I like, for the purpose of this, the fact that you can Janna shield works with Caitlyn, works with Vayne, and denies the Vayne from time, which is something that they have loved to play with their respective team comps. So not only is it a strong pick for SMLZ, it's denying it from Kitties.
Yeah, we'll see what he decides to go for in that AD carry role. Currently, Lulu being hovered once again by Rookie. He's played it time and time again to pretty great success, and so far it looks like Invictus Gaming aren't changing their style up too much, with time filling in for Kid. We'll see what he decides to lock in, as Maokai is currently being hovered by Zatai. Oh, going back to the Annie, possibly for Kitties.
It's about priority right now.
Oh. Aw.
The quick taunt, but
yeah,
not
I know.
going to happen.
Like if he switches it to Tom Kench and then back.
Happens every time, honestly. At least once a draft. But they have locked in their lanes here, Invictus Gaming. They've got that Lulu for Rookie, as you mentioned, something that he's a big fan of playing. And then they've decided to prioritize the Annie over the Maokai. Instead of giving that Maokai to Zatai, they've picked up the Annie for Kitties. And that raises some questions as to what M3 are looking to do here in response. I thought they may want to take away that Maokai and put it into the top lane on Looper, but it seems that Looper has another idea in mind for his own pick.
Yeah, he certainly does. Currently saving onto that last pick for the top lane. We'll see what he decides to go for, as Kog'Maw just getting locked in for SMLZ.
And it's the SMLZ special in regards to how he plays the game, not the champion that he is playing. And that is the wait for 50-minute mark, as I mentioned earlier, and just try and outscale the opposition team. Now, they've picked their mid laner also with this, and in terms of scaling, suits the mark completely fine. The only question is going to be how they go during their mid game, where there is a sort of trough between their relative strengths.
We'll see how those strengths play into each other, as if Master3 can wait for that late game Kog'Maw to come online. They do have some successful peel for him with Janna and Lee Sin. It's up to IG to deal with that now. Time currently looking at Lucian for the AD carry role. I'd be a bit surprised to see that Lucian locked in, considering effectively how IG's team comp is what they have played time again. Protect the hyper carry, but they decide to lock it in, and Zatai gets his Maokai.
He still gets his Maokai. Looper looking for the counter pick opposed to Dade, so freely able to pick the Maokai blindly into whatever he thinks Looper will put on the tables. Now, the Maokai is a pick more for their specific team comp, the team fighting styles that they really love to do and have actually found a lot of success on lately, this Invictus Gaming team. The Lucian and the Annie as their bot lane picks, the only real wild card. The Annie's the hard engage that they need though, because they don't have anything like the Shen taunt maybe in the top lane. It's something that the rest of the team, the Maokai and Lulu, can follow up on quite well as the Echo. And in the 2v2 bot lane in particular though, aggression is the key here. They've got the Annie stun, they've got the Lucian aggression with the Light Slinger passive. All of his output of damage is just through the roof. And the question is, can a Janna and a Kog'Maw get through laning phase? Can they match it? Can they beat it, perhaps? We don't know. Yeah,
we're certainly going to find out, as the last lock-in for Masters3 is going to be Gnar for Looper, taking that against Zatai's Maokai in the top lane. And there are your final lineups completed on screen.
Yeah, so they picked the Gnar into the Maokai, which is a perfectly fine lane for Looper. Should be very good in that lane, especially once he gets the Hex Drinker. It gives them that extra AoE wombo for the team fight as well that Masters3 had a fair bit of, but not an overwhelming amount of. Now they've got Orianna and they have the Gnar. And the best part about this is it actually puts people in lines for Lee Sin to potentially kick them. And it's a subtle thing that is most likely not going to happen. But again, not only do they do that, they have a lot of displacement the Janna as well. They've got the Orianna Shockwave, the Lee Sin Kick, and the Gnar Ultimate, which is just called Gnar with an exclamation mark. So the Gnar's Gnar. It's a very potent team comp in terms of team fighting.
Yeah, seems like Master3 has picked themselves into a very happy situation with this one. On your screen, you can see Zatai and Looper in that top lane, filling the jungler role. It's Kakao and Condi. And the big players themselves, Rookie versus Dade. It's Smile versus Chest Bump between the two.
A very, very big mid lane to see how this pans out. But a lot of the game is in the balance of how mid goes. As we go to the bot lane now, and we're seeing Kitties against Ruo.
Yeah, Kitties versus Ruo and Time versus SMLZ. It's Invictus Gaming versus Masters3. And with that 8th place spot on the line, Masters3 need these points, need these wins, because it's only going to get more difficult from here on out.
This game in particular, very important for Masters3.
Yeah, and we are loading onto the Rift right now. Hello everyone and welcome back to the LPL. It's week 10, day 2, set 3, game number 1 between Invictus Gaming and Masters3. Masters3 currently in 8th place with 22 points. Invictus Gaming in 7th place with 24. Both of these teams are within reach of that 9th and 10th place team of the LPL. And feeling those teams breathing down their neck, it's do or die time for both.
Completely do or die, and this first game again is where they have to start, find their strengths as a team, because they're both looking for that 2-0. Masters3 trying to avoid being taken out of the top 8 and still making the playoffs. They do not want a repeat of last split.
Oh, they certainly do not. Looks like it's probably not going to be World Elite this time around, just considering where their points are. But again, miracles can happen.
They can still make it.
And to quote last week, I'm still feeling it. So we'll see how that happens. Dade going for some breakdancing in the mid lane, just to make sure his joints are all warmed up before he gets into the match against Rookie. Goodness knows he's going to need to be on his toes for that.
Completely going to have to be. It is a Lulu, so there's a lot of things to dodge in this laning phase. Not to say that Orianna doesn't provide a lot of objects that you do need to dodge, but looking quite limber, ready to go in this mid lane matchup, and cannot wait to see how it unfolds. But Rookie does have an Ignite opposed to just the cleanse of Dade.
Yeah, he certainly does. Might be looking for some aggression from that Lulu. And Masters3 currently showing themselves on the top side of the map. Might be looking for this lane swap.
Yeah, you can see even the Gnar starting the Raptors with a bit of a helping hand from Dade, looking to get some levels to himself, knowing that Masters3 are the ones to put the lane swap into effect. So very nice team-based decisions here from this M3 side, and they're the ones looking for that lane swap, not to get Looper out of the lane, but to put Kog'Maw into a lane where he can get the solo experience if need be, or have the Janna just babysit him in a lane where there's no threat of him actually dying.
Deep ward coming out from Kitties in that mid lane, and looks like it's going to be nice and slow with this early game. Zatai just scratching Ruo's back. You know, he did start off with a camp as well, so he's got some pretty moderate experience. Yeah,
and Kog'Maw actually very good in these lane swap environments. Not for the direct pushing capabilities, which is something we're often used to saying, but in particular with having that Janna there, if the Janna's not zoning you, the Kog'Maw is, and the damage that they can output is just phenomenally high. Knowing that the pressure of this Lee Sin and Gnar is always going to be nearby. Kitties, he sees him.
He drops a ward, sees that the lane swap is happening. Luckily, Kakao answering on the other side with a swap of his own. Blue buff secured by Condi, but now there are 2 members under that tier 1 turret. That's going to make diving a little bit trickier for Masters3.
Yeah, the vertical jungle has begun, so the numbers favor M3 on this top side, but the same thing goes for bottom, which is why Looper hasn't actually made his way down there at all. He's letting it push to the turret before he even considers going to that lane. Now the Maokai desperately trying to recall. If Masters3 are aware of this, they might find themselves an unsuspecting Annie, though the teleport is being used.
Teleport is going to be used. The tie heads right back up there, and you know, now that those buffs have been stolen, we're seeing Condi back out of the jungle. SMLZ still on that top side while Rookie and Dade clear some minions in the middle. What can we expect out of this lane swap? Where is this lane swap going to be putting us?
So there's a couple of directions that the lane swap can directly take you. It's difficult to say that it's going to affect them immediately because Kog'Maw's just looking to get out of this aggressive lane that the Lucian and Annie are going to put in place. By being able to avoid that aggression, the Annie stun a big factor in this, you are unlocking the Annie, which isn't great for your team, and you're leaving Lucian to get solo experience. So he scales just as well for the mid-game strength, but Kog'Maw's looking past that mid-game. Wants the Trinity Force, but then wants the Blade of the Royal King even more so. So he's just looking to get some farm, whilst it is free for him to take.
With the freeze being set up on the bottom side, Time is right on track to be hitting that mid-game power spike. Looper finally heads himself on down to the bottom, cleaning up some minions, and things remain relatively calm.
Yeah, Echo actually very well timed making his way down here, though the ward has spotted him. Now it is a scary position for Looper because he doesn't actually have another ward to place, and Echo is no longer visible.
Yeah, definitely a scary situation.
Not a whole lot actually happening here whatsoever. Everyone just standard farming, and to be expected, of course, from that lane swap is the lack of direct action unless one of the junglers can find a gank. And now Condi and Looper have spent most of this time actually just farming together, so it's unlikely that there will be action, but now they've actually got Looper in the bot lane farming. Echo's going to spend a lot of time pressuring this, and that's exactly what he's doing now.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier that we would have to keep an eye on those junglers, and with gank-heavy junglers like Lee Sin and Echo, it's no surprise to see Kakao on the prowl. He's been spotted out by a ward on the bottom side. Dade gets a bit aggressive in lane, but he already has a ward in his river as well, so he's going to be able to spot Kakao too. And again, just continues to farm it safely as this wave crashes into his turret.
Yeah, Rookie the one putting this aggression into place. Of course, having the Ignite advantage, starting to play on the mind of Dade just a little bit. But Dade, again, looking to scale with his first Blight, perhaps getting that Chalice before he considers actually giving a big trade attempt against Rookie, who, as Lulu, has a little bit of extra strength this early by having the help picks even available at all.
Definitely a tricky trading situation. Time is getting a mild CS lead compared to SMLZ, but I'm sure he'll be able to close that gap right up. And so far, Time seems to be doing a pretty admirable job in his first show in the LPL on IG side. Kakao drops the parallel convergence, is not going to land the stun onto Looper. He actually still is going to continue chasing. There's the dash flash. Can they get first blood? The heal is picked up, and Time nets first blood.
A fairly easy first blood right there, as the rest of Invictus Gaming were making their rotations down, though the Na reacted soon enough to force Time to use all of his summoner spells to ensure that he did go down. Now, getting the first kill onto this Lucian is a big deal, given the mid-game power that can really come out of Time and make the rest of M3 start to hurt. It's going to do wonders for this Invictus Gaming team.
It certainly is. There goes his first recall. Similarly timed recall from Rookie, but Ruo heads on down to the bottom to help out with Looper. Just make sure he's safe.
Yeah, so at this stage, the only real advantage that Lucian got from that kill is the boots. But that is a big advantage, given that he doesn't have any summoner spells available himself. So he actually needed the boots to try and survive into this, what is now a Janna and a Na lane. So a bit more safety for Looper in this bottom lane. Nothing crazy going to come from this, though. Time and Kitty still have control of the lane.
Yeah, they certainly do. Kakao, once again, this time actually dropping a pink ward to clear out some of Looper's vision and just try to keep that Gnar locked down. And we're starting to see a minor CS difference open between them. It was Time with the advantage. Well, now this time, SMLZ caught right back up in CS, and Zatai has been building a pretty moderate advantage in that top lane against SMLZ.
Yeah, he's been doing quite well in the top lane here, but at the very least, both of these respective top laners are finding farm where it is necessary of them. So once they swap back into standard lanes, Maokai, though he has a small CS advantage, if Na can still get that Hex Drinker, he'll actually be perfectly fine. As a fair bit of pressure is coming down now that Kog'Maw has hit that level 6 mark. Very difficult to dodge the ultimates if you want to last hit anything.
Yeah, we can see Zatai is trying to heal up under that turret as best he can. Still has not actually recalled yet. That was just his first potion that he got to use, so he essentially had a free pass.
So he first recalled at about level 2 just to buy a whole lot of potions. So he's trying to sustain through it now with all of the potions that he bought prior. So doing quite well to still actually even have a potion remaining. against what was a Kog'Maw and a Janna lane.
Yeah, Kakao trying to feed the blue buff over to Rookie, gets ganked by Dade and Kandi, takes a lot of damage, and they're actually going to have to dash away from this one. Rookie with the Chalice and Amp Tome is going to be pretty good, but the duo shows himself up. It's 4 members of Master3 on the top side jungle.
Yeah, no way for Invictus Gaming to answer this aggression whatsoever. A fantastic kick from Kondi, actually knocking him directly towards Dade and forcing out immediate summoner spells to just try and remove himself from what was a very dire situation. Thankfully, finding his way out with his life is now going to do these Krugs and try and get some more gold as they just lost themselves a blue buff.
Yeah, you can already see Ruo running over to drop wards on his own blue buff to make sure that something similar doesn't happen. But Rookie is recalling in it, or not Rookie, Kakao is recalling, and Rookie is CSing in the mid lane, so it seems like they're feeling pretty safe for now. Though his recall was just canceled. Ah, no, it wasn't. There he goes.
Yeah, everyone just starting to come back to standard again. Lupa actually very content farming this bot lane as his adorable Gentleman Nah skin, which is just the best skin in the game right now, in my opinion.
It's pretty grand.
It's up there.
I still think DJ Sona is one of the coolest, if not the coolest.
Well, I feel like if we're talking about like effort for what is provided, a very basic gentleman's skin like Nas is very good.
That's a pretty solid one. Oh man, now I'm trying to run through all the neat skins.
Well, all of the gentleman's skins. They should just release 10 of them.
Oh, flash stun onto SMLZ as they look for a gank. And poor SMLZ didn't stand a chance.
No, there was no way for him to actually survive that whatsoever. The flash from Kitties, now they're going again.
Yeah, they're setting up a dive. Kitties tanks the turret while Zatai and Kakao dive deep. No Hexdrinker finish just yet. Looper taking a lot of damage. He bounces away, but they get the kill.
Oh.
The turret hit is not enough to drop Zatai, but meanwhile, Time going 1v2 in the bottom lane. He gets knocked up. He's at 300 health, 150, and Kandi executes him with a kick to the face.
Living with single-digit health, basically, Zatai in that top lane. Unlucky for Looper to not get a kill himself, but as mentioned, didn't have the Hexdrinker available, so very susceptible to going down. The response from M3 was instant though. They do pick up Time. They go straight to that dragon. And very smart play. They lose themselves a gold lead, but they do find themselves some kind of objective trade.
Yeah, Kakao clears the turret on the top side of the map. We're now 2,300 gold in favor of Invictus Gaming. However, as you mentioned, Masters3 did get that first dragon, so they could be on track for about a 35-minute Dragon 5 if they're able to continue getting it.
Yeah, definitely. And the lane swap, seemingly weird that they actually got the dragon when they were the ones to put that into effect. But Invictus Gaming focusing a lot more on finding kills and putting pressure down than going immediately for the objective. They're looking to translate said kills into objectives from there on. But they really did struggle to find those kills early, as managing to live by having a Janna at all makes things quite difficult. So once they finally go top lane, they make a very nice gank and get 2 kills for their troubles. They lose that first dragon at 12 minutes.
No, Looper's getting ganked again. The completed Righteous Glory is used. Looper's level 6. He gets a 2-man stun. He's still relatively low. Flash comes out. He's going low. Are they going to be able to get the kill? They do indeed. Another kill, but whoa.
Executed.
Was it the minions that finished him off?
No, the tower was the one focusing him, but he dodged the Gnar ultimate.
There goes the trade-off. Zatai gets knocked out of the shockwave. Masters3 looks like they might be able to commit to this one. Ruo clears it up. They manage to kill Zatai. Time. He sees his death coming, but there's nothing he can do. Can Rookie save him? There goes the shockwave. They're trying to bring him low. They turn it around. Time gets dropped.
Whoa.
SMLZ trades his life back over despite the monsoon. It's Rookie who trades 1 for 1.
They make a 1 for 1, but in the top lane, Dade cancelling that teleport from Zatai enables this to happen at all. Kakao down as well right now. This has gone very well for Masters3, all things considered. They find that standing gold, and the lead has just completely shrunk down as this is the kill that destroys all of Invictus Gaming's hopes of stopping that dive in the bottom lane. The tower, the real MVP right there.
Oh, man.
Because eventually Kakao goes down also.
Yeah, a huge play from Dade, and it's kind of interesting that he was completely separated from his team when it happened, going 1v2 actually, and picking up not 1 but 2 kills, allowing the rest of Masters3 to pick up other kills on the bottom lane. Great play, and suddenly, Master3 are right back in this.
Yeah, and I guess more interestingly, it was an Orianna that was conveniently sitting in that top lane as they were trying to teleport, because Looper didn't want to be there firstly, and I think he was still in the death chamber for just a little bit longer. And Orianna goes there just to get the minions, but how conveniently timed it was with a teleport directly under their turret.
Yeah, very solid play from Dade. That gets him a level advantage, SCS advantage, and a kill advantage over Rookie, while 3 members of IG once again show themselves on the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, working around this Annie that has been completely unlocked through the lane swap. They're finding themselves kills wherever they physically can get there. Of course, Annie not having that flash available for just a little bit longer. Once that is up, the possibility of getting a kill is significantly higher than otherwise.
Certainly is. Ward being cleared out by Cacao as time continues to farm up on that bottom side of the map. Trinity Force has been finished by SMLZ, but Time looks like he's going for the stereotypical turret pushing build.
Yeah, very nice timing on that Trinity Force, though he doesn't have any boots to speak of himself, so very position reliant and looking to be as far back as possible, probably hitting the closest person.
Cacao's in a tricky spot. Dade doesn't manage to find him, but Cacao thinks he's 1v1. Here comes Condi. He's immediately turned upon. Will they be able to get the stun? They do. Dade's caught. He's taking a lot of damage. The silence drops. He goes down to Zatai while Cacao chases Condi out.
They were trying to catch the Echo doing his wolves to then go for the blue buff. They had the numbers disadvantage, and they went super deep in terms of positioning to try and make that happen at all. And it definitely didn't happen for them. They had a very bad time. And then they just got collapsed on by the rest of this Invictus gaming side. Rookie making his way there. Zatai was not too far away himself. Nothing really even needing to be used. And, I mean, the aggression from Cacao pays off.
Yes, certainly does, as now, once again, Invictus Gaming are in the lead, about 1,000 gold ahead of Master3. While Dade has just respawned, picked up a needlessly large rod for himself.
This is going to be the Zatai show right now. That is for sure. Like, he just picked up his needlessly large rod, but the biggest thing about that is that it augments the rest of the team. So he's got his AP item, but it's going to be used to make sure that this tree is the biggest tree in the entire world, and will be able to carry them. As 4-1, has his Righteous Glory, almost got his Merc Treads. You couldn't be happier against what is 2 mid-game based items and incomplete boots himself.
A scary spot for Looper to be in. He's been assassinated all game, and now he's got this terrifying tree pressuring down his lane. Recall now being completed by Zatai. Dragon's going to be up in 30 seconds, and Looper's not able to stop that recall.
No, they're going to look for the Dragon. The teleport's both not available, so if he goes back to that top lane, they shouldn't look to start it immediately, though the teleport will be timed very soon with the Dragon being available to be taken for both of these top laners, in fact. So not necessarily needing to stop the recall, but looking to recall himself so that they are as strong as possible for when the Dragon is alive.
Yeah, you can see Looper decides not to head to the bottom lane, or to the top lane. Instead, starts running down to his own bot side jungle.
So he doesn't actually need to be top because there's no tower to directly defend. And it's going to be a very deep positioning choice here from Zatai. And seemingly Master3 are looking to focus the Dragon slightly more than actually split pushing in that top lane and teleporting in, because teleporting takes time. And they would rather all be there immediately.
Yeah, he decides to head back to that top side, seeing the minion wave shoved by Zatai, who trades it over. But Invictus Gaming, they've got 3 members on that bottom side with Rookie headed down. They put pressure onto that bottom tier 1, but Ruo's able to keep it standing with his Eye of the Storm.
A lot of wave clear available between just the Orianna and the Kog'Maw, and even Na to a degree once he's in that mini form can throw out those boomerangs and prevent Invictus from taking down the turrets. But Invictus are so good at diving that it doesn't seem to be a big issue if they find themselves in a numbers advantage. Now, Na has gone back to the top lane, he's responded, but he has his teleport, and they've started the Dragon.
Yeah, this is IG right on top of it.
There
goes the teleport. I don't know if he's going to make it in time. Condi looks for the Sonic Wave. The Dragon goes over to Invictus Gaming, but now they're locked in the pit. Scary situation. They turn. The stun lands. There goes the culling. It finds Looper. He's down to half health. The shockwave brings them right back in. It's a wombo combo from Master3. But do they have the health to turn the fight around? Time gets dove. Kitties is trying to run away from the back of the kit, but only 3 members of Master3 survive. They're scattered, and one by one, they're being picked off by Invictus Gaming. Zatai is having the time of his life. He finds SMLZ.
He's so fed.
Oh my gosh, he's even being charitable and feeding the kill over to Cacao. Another kill, Invictus Gaming.
And that fight started off really well for Masters3. The shockwave connected in combo with the Nah, who stunned them all against the dragon walls. And that was exactly what they were looking for. But again, this Maokai is just massive. He's beyond massive at this stage in the game, and can just soak up all of the damage in the world, take down Dade, move his focus over to SMLZ, who has some items, but not enough to get him away from exclusively the Maokai. He's going to have to get a QSS sooner rather than later.
Oop, Cacao looks to finish off the turret. He succeeds, but now he's going 1 versus 1 with Conde. Here comes Ruo, teleport being dropped. There goes the execute. Zatai doesn't finish his teleport. It was fairly worth.
Oh, completely worth. Got the turret. Like, you can tell he was trying to, at the very least, make sure the standing gold was removed from the map. But a ridiculously good Sonic Wave is we're going to see this combo again. And you're looking at Nah, Invictus Gaming the ones to initiate this, but the Shockwave connects at the same time as the Nah. And that looked like it was just going to be the fight. But keeping in mind, Kitties was the one to initiate. The full culling went off from the Lucian prior to him even going down, so the damage was put in place. And this Echo and that Maokai are just monstrous.
You mean this Maokai on the top side of the map going 1v2 and still healing up? He's trying, but he just doesn't have enough damage to keep up with SMLZ.
Now, of course, the Kog'Maw is huge.
Man, Kitties gets cleared over the wall. Rookies manages to dash out of the shockwave. Quick 2 kills for Master3 as they head to the top side of the map.
Unlucky the shockwave didn't connect. It didn't actually throw it at the maximum range from the looks of it. So it didn't connect to his target, though they make the picks. That Annie was just instantly destroyed. And on the back of the Maokai being 1v2'd by Kog'Maw and Janna, it's very easy for them to then invade that area and work towards the turret. Just convenient that really they found people on their way to the objective that they were actually looking for.
Yeah, very solid play from Masters3 with 3 members on the top side of the map. It forces a response out of Invictus Gaming. They're forced to play a little bit defensive. And off the heels of what was a crazy team fight, Masters3 managed to find some very strong picks.
They do, and a lot of magic resistance is the focus here from Zatai. So SMLZ was able to pick him off quite easily just by having a lot of money himself from the lane swap. And it's still positively impacting this side here from Masters3. But once Zatai gets his next item, really difficult.
Yeah, we're taking a look at the gold on the screen right now. It's a 1,600 gold lead for Zatai on that top side. Now 17, as he just surpasses Looper in every way, shape, and form. Things are looking pretty good for Zatai, but it's fairly even just about everywhere else.
You know, that is basically the entire gold lead, though, that Invictus Gaming have.
Oh, you're right, it is.
On the back of just that Maokai. So he is a force to be reckoned at the moment. It's going to be quite a big deal as to how he goes in fights. And we said it a couple minutes ago, this game is basically the Zatai show. And it works really well for this Invictus Gaming team comp, is that they've got that Lulu in the mid lane who can augment the Maokai to be even bigger than he already was, or they can just use that Lulu ultimate now to help the Lucian survive, because Maokai is already so big that he doesn't necessarily need it.
Terrifying play from Zatai, as we can see. SMLZ continuing to farm on the bottom side of the map. He's actually 30 CS down behind time, despite going for the lane swap, specifically trying to buy him farm, trying to buy him time, but he's still down.
Yeah, still fairly down. Of course, a lot of free farming in the solo lane essentially was going to time where there was a bit of pressure available in that top lane. Not necessarily jungle focused by any means, but just not entirely possible to get every single last hit because there's a lot more wave control that needs to be kept in mind. So doing well here is this AD carry time, filling the shoes of not SMLZ, sorry, I said that completely wrong. Kid. That is the other team I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Dragon's going to be up in about a minute, so we'll see how he's able to do this time around. He was dove pretty successfully by Masters3 as both Rookie and Time were killed. But again, the Dragon's going to be up in a minute, and Master3 are already looking for wards.
They've got kitties with the flash available, so yes, M3 are getting that ward control down, or at the very least attempting to do so, but you can see that pink already being put in place from Invictus. I believe that has been there for a substantial amount of time as well. Controlling that area, so they've at least got a save point to default to, but if they only have one save point that they can get to, then this zone control style of team from the Orianna, from the Na, even the Lee Sin to a degree, can actually completely catch them out of position.
Yeah, they managed to find a stun over the wall, but Kandi just walks away with the humongous shield from Dade. Completed Rabadon's Death Cap is giving him so much AP. Double recall from SMLZ and Rubo. Find them on their side of the base. And once again, we're in the same position we were in 6 minutes ago.
Yeah, exactly right, except that Invictus Gaming now have the control of this Dragon Pit again. So going towards this, the question will be if they can execute their fight well again, Masters3, now that they've got a lot more strength to back them up in terms of their itemization. This Orianna is really big right now.
Oh yeah.
And if the shockwave hits, people are gonna die.
Yeah, most certainly. Dade, very important. Stun finds Kandi. Zatai actually walks himself up. He's got teleport and a wave on the bottom side, and looks like it should start building, so IG are reared and ready to go.
They've started the Dragon up. Invictus Gaming are going to look to fight this. They've got the Annie prepped.
And here comes the parallel convergence. Let's see if we can find anyone. No, gets knocked out in time. Dragon's down to 1800. Zatai gets pulled into the backlines exactly where he wants to be. Culling comes across, but Zatai is forced to back away as his team cannot find a method to engage. And Kakao clears the second Dragon. There's the engage. Kitties gets kicked in by Kandi and gets destroyed while Zatai is split off. An effective way to deal with a fed character is just separate him entirely. Rookie running for his life. He turns onto Ruo, brings him low, but Monsoon negates the ignite completely. And IG, they get the Dragon, but lose their support.
Invictus Gaming, they just got control of the area. Masters3 were kiting back, looking for their opportunity to re-engage with the Mega Gnar and the Lee Sin kick. And they do so. Oh, the stun.
Yeah, Kakao goes aggressive. It's 4 versus 4, and they're going to pick up one kill right now. The turret falls. Time dodging around as best he can. He looks for Looper, changes his target to Kandi. Dade's already died. There's another kill for Zatai. He is unstoppable when he's with his team.
Completely unstoppable right now. Zatai is a monster. He is a force to be reckoned. His team fights are really back and forth, but it's a lot of kiting and looking for their own opportunity to engage. And speaking of, that's the Baron.
Yeah, they certainly are. Teleport coming across. The 3 members of Masters3 looking to interrupt as best they can. Baron is going low. Looper trying to flank around from the side. It's at 4,000 health, going lower and lower. Smite is available for Kakao. He's waiting in the wings. He's going to go in, and Smite manages to secure it. IG get the Baron.
And just off the back of one pick in that middle lane, Masters3, they make one of their own at the Dragon that then becomes the mid lane turret, where Invictus Gaming are the ones to turn that back around. From that pick, they decide to go for the Baron buff, and they secure that one. Kakao smiting it away to ensure he gets it. The Masters3 were not looking to contest that one. They didn't have the numbers or the ultimates available to really walk in to a Baron pit and say stop doing this right now, or they would have lost their lives and potentially the Baron with it.
Yeah, very scary position for Masters3. They're still only down about 2,000, 3,000 gold in total, but Invictus Gaming have got complete and total momentum with that Baron.
Yeah, they definitely do. It's going to be completely on the back of Invictus Gaming to see if they can make something happen with this Baron buff available. Of course, they may want to group up, utilize the strengths that can be found behind this Malco. Has just completed pretty much an entire Frozen Heart. And that Kog'Maw is making a lot of ruckus right now.
Oh, he certainly is. He's very noisy with this particular set. And it looks to be a very noisy game in general. Oh. A moment of silence for that Talisman of Ascension.
Silence?
That was just used by time, yeah.
I hear nothing but echo W's. But, of course, the Talisman...
See, that's the funny thing about time travel. It's because it is happening, but just not at this time.
There's a Lucian joke in there somewhere.
Is there?
Yeah, his name's Time.
Hey, oh, hey.
But again, 40-second cooldown of the Talisman is actually not that bad a thing to use constantly. It's great. But He's very easily able to use that. And then again, the rest of this Invictus gaming side, they've got the Baron buff. They're looking, really desperately looking, to make something happen and start to snowball their way through the remainder of this game. A 4,000 gold lead isn't a big deal, and most of that gold is actually on Zatai on this Maokai. So the top laner cannot exclusively afford to split push the entire time, though he can easily get a turret down 1v1 and gives Invictus Gaming the space to get one of their own.
The 1-3-1 wildly successful as the mid-tier 2 similarly goes down. Zatai continuing to split push. Kakao finds a stun onto Condi. Lots of damage coming down. Condi's drop low time looks to finish, but can't quite drop him to 0 health. As Zatai joins up with the rest of his team, and immediately Master3 are like, whoa, I have a phobia of trees, and just back out.
They have no choice but to back out, especially when he's threatening the engage now. Though now they're under their inhibitor turret, they need to be a little bit more precautionary about how they back up, because if they back too far, they could lose the turret. So they have actually just lost a whole lot of objectives from this 1-3-1 of Invictus. And again, the strength of this Maokai is a big determining factor as to why that happens. In the 3-man mid lane, though, the Echo, fantastic for zone control, the Annie's great at engaging, and the Lucian very slippery and also very good at taking down these objectives. They just run M3 around the map, and suddenly they find themselves really far ahead.
Very great position for Invictus Gaming as suddenly Master3 are scrambling for defense. Ooh, I'm keeping my eye on Zatai. Yeah, he will be able to complete his recall in time. And, you know, Dragon's going to be up in a minute once again. We're 30 minutes in. Invictus Gaming took the Baron. They took a few kills, and they cleared an enormous amount of turrets. But Master3 are still only about 6,000 gold behind.
Yeah, they've done well to still be in this game, all things considered, and they've found a lot of success in their team fights, and it was just that one fight that went awry, getting caught looking for that mid lane turret, that then translated into this massive control. And it's from this, they've found a power point here in Invictus Gaming and really put Master3 on the back foot, though they're a team that, again, they've got the Kog'Maw looking for that scaling, they've got the Orianna to match the scaling. Very strong late game. Lee Sin hits a bit of a trough, doesn't have as much of an impact, but late game, one kick is all that matters and can definitely still hit that kick. At 31 minutes in the game now, still entirely likely that that one miracle kick can find Master3 a successful team fight. That one shockwave, that one Gnar ultimate, they've got a lot of things.
Yeah, we're getting a close-up of the Dragon as he spawns. He doesn't come from the center of the pit, actually. He comes from the side and then flies down.
He does. Oh, we also don't have vision of it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, we got to have vision of the pit, man.
That is well and truly the Dragon.
So here's a fun question. When Dragon respawns, is it the same Dragon coming back to life, or is it a different Dragon?
I couldn't tell you. I think it's a big Dragon. I haven't really asked it. I would say it's the same Dragon.
Uh-huh.
Not seeing one hatch.
He just comes back to life.
Respawns.
Yeah, because champions respawn too.
Yeah.
Oh, tricky.
Or gets resummoned if we want.
You're right. Yeah, resummoned. So what happens when he's not summoned? Do you think the Dragon's screen goes black and white?
I don't really know. I've never played the Dragon game mode in League of Legends, though. You would think so.
You've never played a game of Shabbat?
Maybe a sepia tone.
Yeah.
They did pick up the third Dragon here, though, in Invictus Gaming, just to further cement all of the objectives that they have consistently managed to find since that pick in the mid lane. All it took was that one controlling and convincing fight to then get everything they could ever want and more.
Master3 continuing to sit inside of their base. Their wards barely creep out past their own jungle, which has been securely controlled by Invictus Gaming, and they're just sitting and waiting. But what are they waiting for?
I would say the last whisper, first and foremost, that has just been completed, as we mentioned it, for this Kog'Maw, has now got the trinity of his items. And speaking of, there's also the Orianna who has her 3 items. So in terms of strength, they're pretty much ready to go. You can see starting to creep out of their own base, getting some wards around the Baron buff, and maybe looking for that team fight yet again.
Invictus Gaming might be ready to give it to them as they are clearing away the blue buff for Rookie. Waves building on the top, the bottom, and once again in the mid lane, but Condi is already prepared.
He has been sitting there for a solid minute. He was really waiting for that.
Oh, it seems like he might have found his target. He manages to catch up with Kakao, but none of the other teammates can follow him over the wall, and suddenly it seems like Master3 are split over the pit as Baron is respawning. This is a dangerous spot.
They get out okay, though, in the end, but control of the pit again, completely in favor of Invictus Gaming, as they're now the ones to push this into Master3, either bleed them out and control the sideways, or just force this Baron, or even bait the Baron. They've got a lot of possibilities that they can take, because map control around that area, as you can see on the minimap, is now littered with blue and not a whole lot of red.
Yeah, Rookie actually just had to burn his flash after taking some damage from Master3. They're now rushing forward with no vision, and they might have caught Invictus in a tricky situation. Time, the sole member to defend that turret, drops the culling to clear the mini wave. And let's see if they decide to turn this fight around. Kakao dashes in. He's going to be doing some serious damage. Looper is locked down. Zatai's made it into the backline. Ruro disengages. The shockwave finds only Kitties. He's tanking so much, but Zatai is unstoppable. He's single-handedly going to bring Zatai down. And now that the rest of IG are chasing Master3 to their graves, Invictus Gaming have got complete control of this game.
That was a triple kill for the Lucian somehow. This feels like the Zatai show, though.
Oh, man. A huge play from Invictus Gaming as Zatai just styling for us. He knew he was on close-up right there.
Didn't even realize it was a soccer goal on his back, but he just played that fight so well, actually forcing Dade to use the shockwave sooner rather than later. Couldn't hold on to it, couldn't use it to control zone. Just had to try and aggressively place that down. Now, he got it onto Kitties, but the immediate ultimate from this Lulu of Rookie denies any damage that was actually just put onto Kitties, and he was very comfortable being around in the fight. He got his engage off anyway, so Invictus Gaming, they're going from strength to strength at this stage. They're going to get this Baron completely out of vision and out of sight of this Masters3 team. And now that they've got yet another one, the gold lead has crept its way up. Yeah, very difficult to find a way back into this.
I'd say it's less of a creep and more of a lunge. It's a 12,000 gold lead for Master3. Here's a breakdown of that fight. Things look a bit touch and go at first.
Yeah, so Echo, the one initiating this, and Looper doesn't have any Nava at all. Kitties puts down the bear and gets ulted by Lulu to negate anything that Dade just put in. But Zatai sitting in that front line, just doing his thing. Twisted advancing to pretty much everybody, whilst meanwhile, completely unlocked in the outskirts was this Lucian. Time going massive and finding 3 kills for himself. But again, you look at this front line, Kakao and Zatai, the ones really enabling all of this to happen.
Now that middle inhibitor has been cleared. Invictus Gaming once again have the Baron, and they return to that role that they've been playing the entire game. IG on the top side, Rookie on the bottom, while Time clearing creeps in the mid wave. Master3 find themselves in a dire situation.
Definitely an uphill battle from here on out, but we have touched on it. If there was ever a team fight that they could actually come out ahead of, it's now that they have a lot of their big items. It's going to come down very heavily now to execution. But if they can execute this fight right, if the shockwave hits more than just Kitties as an example, then definitely still possible for them to win a team fight. Unlikely. Odds definitely against them. They have got the Lulu to counter that as well. This Invictus Gaming team comp plays super well once ahead.
Yeah, they certainly do. Master3 finds a tie onto the inhibitor turret.
What is
They're
damage?
dishing out so much damage, but he's completely ignoring it. Rookie with the split push on the bottom side, and it's not looking good.
No, the rest of Invictus have actually made their way down there to make sure at the very least the turret goes down. They should be able to pick up this inhibitor, though the rest have translated their way down here to prevent it potentially.
Could be Kakao. Gives it a good thwack just to make sure, but Time is a little bit slow.
And meanwhile, top lane as well. Invictus are playing around having this Baron buff so well, they're forcing Masters3 to run around and not ever be in the right place at the right time as they poke at this inhibitor. They've got that Baron cannon minion as well, just like poking it down, and it does go. 2 inhibs down.
One to go. Yeah, Zatai continuing to split push. They've still got Baron for about 45 seconds. The rest of Invictus Gaming group up. This is do or die for Master3. Will they be able to turn it? There goes the dive. They look for Looper. Stun finds Dade. He's cleansed, but Kitties takes a lot of damage. In the front line, it's Zatai. He dashes on the Looper with little regard. Kandi tries to get a kill, but loses his life to time because of it. The remaining 4 members of Master3 make it under the inhibitor Nexus turrets, but it's not enough. Dade assassinated by time, but he's still alive in the back. Kakao zones the rest of the team away, but IGR don't seem satisfied with those kills. They're looking for the win.
They've got plenty of time and they've got a lot of damage behind them, and that was a nice stun.
Yeah, double stun finds Dade. He doesn't have flash. Shockwave gets canceled. Another 2 kills picked up for time. This is Invictus Gaming looking set to take game number 1.
Definitely going to take this one out. And Invictus Gaming off the back of a fantastic performance from Zatai in particular to get themselves one up in this best of 2 series. That's exactly where you want to be as Invictus Gaming. But you look over at Masters3 and they've now got their heads in a very bad place where they need to come out at least with one more victory now after that set. Get 1 point for them, and very bad spot to find yourself at the start of it all.
You can see Zatai on your screen. He's still hard at work looking at that damage done, damage absorbed graph. And poor Dade in the mid lane, he tried so hard, but he just couldn't quite make it happen.
No, they definitely tried. Dade did his best attempt to get them into this game. There was a lot of great skirmishes for them during the skirmish phase of the game, the mid-game based timings. Around the Dragon in particular, they did find some strengths, but it was never enough to really carry them through the game. And then that one mistake, that one pick in the middle lane off the back of Echo, Kakao just going massive. They get a Baron, they get 3 turrets from that Baron, they get the next Dragon, and that was just where everything just started to implode for Masters3.
Yeah, just crawling their way closer and closer to victories. There is Rookie on your screen. He's looking a little bit jovial. You can see the smile at the corner of his lips. He performed pretty well that game too.
Lulu did a lot of work in that game, but again, Lulu was spending most of his time ensuring that the Lucian of time stayed alive, and even Kitties to a degree, making sure that no one on that team died, playing basically the second support in that game for Invictus Gaming. And Zatai, he was a pretty big treat.
He certainly was. Very solid play. It's Invictus Gaming who take game number 1 with that exceptional play.